I'm marking these at 15 feet. It's a good size to get through the trees up there in the front and to put onto the trailer. And if I want to turn any of this into lumber, 15 foot's a good number as well. And I think I failed to mention in the last video that if you see these root balls here, right? See all the root balls, how big they are? A lot of these trees, there was a big tornado, kind of a whippy wind storm that went through here. Not really a tornado, but you know, some high gust winds. And it just blew these trees right over. All these trees. That's the only reason why I'm here. Like, we don't run around cutting live trees. We only cut the dead trees. And we only cut the live trees if we absolutely have to, which is pretty rare. We're always looking for the dead trees or the down trees, and always looking for the good oaks and the hot burning wood. Hardwoods, they call it. Pine is not really a good wood for the fireplace. It's good to get a fire started. Use a little pine, but it's not good for the real fire because it doesn't have enough BTUs. It's not dense enough to get hot. It gets warm, but not hot. I'm just looking at this root ball here, seeing how big it was for you guys. Looks like it's about 8 feet, a little over 8 feet. That's how big that root ball is. And this tree, is 6 foot around. It's pretty good, isn't it? In Missouri, that's the state we're in, we actually have 5 times more oaks than we could ever harvest. So it's no problem either. But I'm going to be doing a video coming up about deforesting and stuff like that. You know, there's certain ways that you have to treat the forest so it treats you good. You can't just go in and rip and rape and steal. That's a problem with a lot of people, you know. So you just got to be a good steward. Alright, so I'm going to cut this one off here, the first chunk of 15, and then we'll work on the other one, and we're basically just getting a load together for today. And then what we're going to do is come back down and get the skid steer, because we got rain moving in for a couple days, and I want the skid steer up at the house so we can actually process some firewood. This is turning out real nice, and one thing we want to do is we want to leave it better than we found it. So I'll do a little pan shot when we're done, and it'll look real nice. That had a bunch of stumps and stuff were out of the ground, and logs were laying down, and I've smoothed this out a little bit. So when the customer, you know, the person who wants to buy the house, or they look out, they'll just see a nice transition down this hill instead of like all that kind of trashy and all this stuff laying around like this. It's just more pleasing to the eye. So it might help them sell this house a little faster too. And if you're watching, I should probably get a bonus. All right, so we're gonna cut this big log right now. This might be a little different than a normal cut, right? Normally when you cut into the tree like this, the log, if it's straight, it wants to bind down, and that's what pinches your saw, okay? Might as well do these teaching moments. Some of you guys never done this before, and for some of you guys, maybe I'll just refresh your memory. So what you want to do is, I'll show you later on, but you'll have a cut up here, and then you'll come in at the bottom, and then you'll come up, right? And then the log will open up like this, and you're usually okay. If you go straight down like this all the way, you'll get down about halfway, and that log will cave in on your cut, and then you'll be pinched inside of there, like kind of like my video when I first started this job here. And then I had to push the log up to kind of get that off of there, that pinch, right? But with this, there's probably enough weight on this ball that once I relieve the pressure this way, the ball's just gonna fall back that way, okay? So right now, I'm kind of noticing the cut is getting bigger as I go, so it means it's pulling apart, and I'll just keep an eye on it as I cut down. Don't do what I do. Gap's getting bigger. Instead of closing in, it's opening up. So just like I said, the weight of this trunk is going to pull it backwards. You'll notice when I cut that one, it rocked like this because there's a big stump right there I was using, right? Kind of keeping it up pressure-wise. So that worked pretty good too. Now on the next one, I probably won't be as lucky. You're gonna see the pinch stuff, so I'll show you the undercut on the next one. So I'm gonna take this one up to the truck, right? To the trailer. But I mean, just to give you an idea, it's almost 2 feet wide right there. 2 feet wide. Hope you guys are subscribed to this channel. It's not a one-dimensional channel. We talk about the lifestyle. It's not just every day the same old thing over and over. We talk about the whole lifestyle. Growing 90% of your own food. Living 100% off rainwater. Pooping in buckets. Yeah, that's right. We do that. Fermenting the food after you make it and everything. So we have all this stuff going on. So I just can't show you, you know, firewood every day or this every day or that every day. But every day you're going to be able to come here and learn something. So no matter what, you should hit that subscribe button and tune into every single video. Just finished the final grading. Well, not the final grading, but you know, just a little cleanup, because you always want to leave it better than you found it. Because when you do that kind of stuff, people call you, they'll tell, hey man, the guy was real good, he cleaned up after himself, didn't make a big mess. And so he'll tell his friend, and maybe he'll tell his friend, and you know, next thing you know, you're running your homestead off selling firewood and cutting stuff on your sawmill, which is what I'm doing right before your very eyes. You'll see, this is all going to start exploding. I'm putting all my pieces in place. This is how we make money on the homestead now. We're going to be selling firewood commercially to residential people who burn their, you know, wood for heat, and wood cook stoves, and a lot of people heat with wood. They have those outside boilers, and we're in the rural area, so a lot of people do that. Now this guy right here, he doesn't do that, but he should have a backup system, so at least he could keep his first floor going if something goes down with the power. So what we got left here is this one log here I kind of stationed so when I come back I can grab it. And then I got a big hickory over here, and then there's another white oak right there. So I still have some work to do here. There's that thing right there. Whew, that's a heavy one. So, but I got to take a break from here for a couple days. I don't know if you guys are liking it. I'm liking it because I'm doing it, right? But I'll drag this stuff back to the homestead and we'll get it processed. But I'll show you what I mean by kind of cleaning up after myself. So I smoothed all that out. You know, there's no tracks there anymore. It looks real good. So those briars will grow up real nice and all this forest will start happening. And what I did is I pushed these big, there's some pretty big, you know, that one was 8 feet, some are bigger than that. And I pushed those back more, right? So they're not like on this ridge line. When they're right here, they're just a lot more prominent. A couple of them rolled all the way down the hill. It's a pretty steep hill right there. And then most of these pushed back far enough to where all this will grow in front of it and you'll kind of lose them in there. And then, you know, it won't be such an eyesore. Right now, you know, that's the kind of stuff they're looking at, right? Plain as day. You remember how it was out of their windows there and their deck. So this is a lot more aesthetic. Yeah. I got my orange briefcase. And I'm ready to go back to the office. So I gotta take this wood back, unload it, and drive all the way back down here to get the skid steer. It works out pretty good on the first run because you bring the skid steer down and then you load the trailer and then you take the trailer back up there full of wood. Then you gotta figure out how to get it off. But I managed pretty good. And I know some of you guys commented about the way I was using that can hook. The way that piece was cut, it's got a flat side. It was the only way I could really maneuver it. So I was expecting for it to grab me. That's why I let it go right away. So, you know, I could have edited that out. We just try to keep it real. Just showing you real life, what guys do. Some guys might be a little more particular, but a lot of guys are a lot more loose. All right, let's get this thing locked up so we don't get any troubles on the way home. get the idea. All right, because I'm a genius, here's the plan. Remember yesterday it was kind of hard to get the logs off at the house by myself with the cant hook and everything. This is a lot, you know, might be a little easier, but for time's sake, because we got rain moving in, I was thinking to myself, you know, when I was driving home, what would be a more efficient way? And if I had another trailer, I could leave this, get the trailer, go pick up the skid steer, bring the skid steer home, bring the trailer back, hook back up to the logs, take the and then I can unload with the skid steer. So that's what I'm doing. I stopped by my local rental place here, and I'm gonna rent me a trailer for just overnight. I'm gonna drop this load right here. They let me leave my load. I'm gonna boogie their trailer back down there, pick up the skid steer, bring it home, go sleepy night-night, wake up in the morning, even if it's raining, no big deal. I'll just bring my trailer back down here, pick up these logs, and take them home. And then I'll have the skid steer at home to unload it there. So follow me for more tips and tricks. Hit the subscribe button, and make sure you give me a thumbs up for using the noggin. I only had the pinto hitch, so they let me borrow a ball receiver there and some chains and stuff to lock down the skid steer. Right there is going to be a big time saver. Now back to the skid steer. And we're back at the mansion. All right, so the only reason why this won't work, and we measured it a bunch of times, is that my skid steer is too big. But I think we figured it at about 80 point something inches, and that's like 81 or 81 point. So if I think skinny thoughts, I'll probably get it on there. So here we go. So this will be either a huge success or a massive fail. I think we're going for huge success. Okay, here we go. Tight. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. All right, I'm gonna put the chains on her and we're gonna go home. See you guys later.